over 2 decades. Generated so much talk in town relating to the performance of the Black Stars. There are those who believe that the performance was not the best, but the others who have laid the blame on the pitch. Pitch, they say, was not in the best of shape. Well, guess what? The director of the National Sports Authority says is the same pitch that Angola played on. So the Black Stars have no excuse for the loss, especially when CAF approved the pitch for the game to take place. So we're going to spend so much time on this game, talk about the pitch. Otoado's spoken about it. Angolan coach Pedro Goncalves has spoken about it, and even Ghanaians. You had so many Ghanaians express similar frustration across all social media platforms about the state of the pitch. So we'll be talking about that today. And the Ghana Premier League is expected to start this weekend. Very little publicity has been seen concerning the Ghana Premier League. To say little is even an understatement. Zero, nothing about the Ghana Premier League starting this weekend, and it is going to start. It is actually going to start, and it is a big surprise. Nobody knows where they're going to watch the games, the Ghana Premier League games. Why are they going to watch it? There's no communication to that effect. So the league, top flight league, is starting this weekend, and very little has been heard about it. So we'll try and spend some time on that today. My name is Razak Musbah. I'll be hearing for Achu Tamaklo. We'll be hearing from Muftar Nabila and the rest of the team. Supporting us, Karim. He did some ratings of the Black Stars. He gave Sabdo Mumin had the worst ratings, and Muhammad Kudus, he says, had the best, but not sure what you made of the Black Stars game yesterday in general. We'll love to hear from you. 055 1111 997 055 1111 997. We'll love to hear from you. So please send us your messages on the WhatsApp line, and let's try and break it all down. It's the first game in the 2025 AFCON qualifier. So they have another game on Tuesday, all the way in Morocco against Niger. But also, another national team is in a very disappointing state. Talking about Ghana's under-20 women's team, all the way in Colombia. They've lost their 2 games in the group stage, and they're at the verge of exiting, and it to be their 7th consecutive exit from the group stage. Not sure what it is with the Black Princesses that they just can't go past the group stage in the women's under-20 World Cup. I absolutely don't know what it is. Whether it's coaching, whether it's personnel, absolutely no idea what the problem is, but we'll try and talk about all of it today. So please do stay with us here on your superstation, Joe 99.7 FM, and we'll get to spend so much time to talk about all of it. All right, we'll try and connect and bring you, but let me just tell you that today, Petrosol, Charlie Petrosol, very loyal company to GamePlan, super loyal. Petrosol, Charlie, champion. Hi, no, Petrosol have renewed their sponsorship with GamePlan for another year, and Charlie, Petrosol Platinum Energy. Petrosol Platinum Energy. Charlie, if you are not using Petrosol, no. You can't be an ardent listener of GamePlan and not be using Petrosol. No. We not go agree. Yeah, we not go agree. I choose car is on the seat. It's coming, and we have already told him if it is not Petrosol, you are not driving in a car. You take Uber and you take Trotrosa. You won't drive. Only Petrosol. Yeah, even me, Charlie, is parked at the car park. Petrosol on Kwan. Engine new. Echo smooth. No. Yeah, man. Super stuff. Well, so Petrosol, every drop matters just as every penny counts. And you need to know that good quality fuel enhances your vehicle performance and also reduces maintenance costs, because some oil there, you go and put it in your car and Charlie, your car will be at the fitter, and the fitter to delay you almost 6 months, and your car is no Petrosol, Charlie. So take no risk, especially in times like this. All you need is value for your money. Look no further. Drive to the next Petrosol Platinum Energy fuel station. We are talking about Petrosol. for your clean, accurate quantity fuel suitable for new technology vehicles. Be a happy customer, filled with smiles, drive more miles, and save some money. Petrosol, your clean quality fuel in full quantity. Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. Charlie, no Petrosol, my Nina. Yeah, Charlie, super. Well, let me also tell you about the Chopbox Technologies Limited, because if you're a parent or family member with a loved one in boarding school, then this is for you. Also, if you're struggling to get provisions or books to them on time, then pay attention to this. You need to try Chopbox. Chopbox, an easy-to-use online platform available on Android and iOS, designed for your convenience. With Chopbox, you can buy books and provisions, take advantage of quick buy with pre-packed packages, send thoughtful birthday messages, all delivered directly to your school. Plus, our new durable plastic chop boxes are specially designed to fight against bed bugs and mold. So say goodbye to wooden boxes and switch to plastic. You can visit www.chopboxonline.com or www.chopboxonline.com, or download the Chopbox app now, and you can search Chopbox online. For customer support, you can call or WhatsApp us at 030-2239-134 or 053-047-4694. Chopbox, a convenient service for students nationwide, convenient wholesale available for businesses, events, restaurants, bars, and of course, households. So highly recommended for you. Chopbox, man. Yeah, no, don't hassle going to give the thing to some driver at Kaneshi or no. Chopbox, Charlie, that's Charlie 20, kind of saying. More than did, yeah, Charlie. I don't know. We be up na fat, na cut. Well, the guys are in the studio now, and I'm looking at their faces. Not so much smiles, but we need to get them some Petrosol coupons. I'm sure it's going to change their mood a bit, but
the coupons they will take, but they smile like that.
you know who know they smile.
Right.
Me, see, nobody's emotionally connected to
that is.
You do the introduction.
That is Situ.
Sue.
That is Sue.
Charlie scored 900 goals, killer. 900 career goals, all of them on video.
With receipts.
But today,
with receipts.
With the Ronaldo clan, we put together all the 900 goals. It's on YouTube. Go to my page on Twitter. It's 900 goals. Enjoy football. It's like a blockbuster movie.
No. So when Ronaldo mentioned, who was he jabbing? Who was the message subtly
Who
to?
the cap fits?
The World Cup thing.
No, he said 900 goals, but it's on video.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who the cap fits?
It's for all those fake 1,000 goal scorers. We understand that some people scored 1,000 goals. They've added, and you know what he said that killed me?
Yeah.
If all of them are on video, and if he wants his training goals too, he can give you that. All of them are also on video. Killer.
Hey.
No, top guy.
Nobody spoiled it. He spoiled it. Ronaldo spoiled it. Charlie, 900 goals.
900 career goals.
And the national team alone is 131.
Charlie.
It's
spoiled.
incredible.
It's spoiled it.
When you
The guy
look
is
at the
a
number of goals he
monster.
scored since the age 30. I mean, if you're a young professional,
Yeah.
you that is the kind of role model you should be looking at.
Yeah,
what
man.
the likes of Messi, Ronaldo have done, have continuously been high-level players. I hope the likes of Mohamed Kudus, the likes of Kamal, like these young players who have got what it takes now. Because they have a reference point now. When Ronaldo and Messi were growing, age 30 is retirement age. At that time,
Oh yes.
Charlie is retirement age. But right now, the reference point for young players like Nyama, Kudus, and co is what Ronaldo, Messi, Modric have done. And I hope that they are taking care of their bodies, because Charlie, it's incredible.
I mean, the standard is really high. Let me just say welcome to all our listeners on Hits 103.9 FM, and also those of you listening to us on Joe 99.7 FM. Welcome on board. He just heard from Sicho Muftai sitting next to him in the middle. He's got his legs crossed. I'm sure he's waiting to spew some fire on the National Sports Authority Director, who says, he said he doesn't have fire, but Achu was the one, our man on the ground at the Barbara Sports Stadium. You heard him yesterday on commentary duty. And
you have a cat here. You have a cat. From here, I thought you had a cat. I was going to ask if some of the missile you were caught. Because from where I sit, I'm like, check like somebody whack your head for some
Those boys, they need to be disciplined.
No, hang on.
We were here last week. He was talking about having skills when it comes to taking stuff from the soup pot. You see all like that, they go throw a story where you go cut him. He go dodge.
He go feed dodge. He go feed dodge. Definitely go feed dodge. Well, guys, welcome to GamePlan. It's a really good Friday. The guys say they are not emotionally connected to the BlackStars. So just to mention that when I was leaving home, just when I greeted my mom that I was leaving, no, I say, more BlackStars.
You know, some funny way the BlackStars they hate the women in this country. The old women. Like
I always say that.
I don't know. They don't.
I was just leaving him say
We have a love-hate relationship with the BlackStars. See, we know they care. Make them play. We go watch.
Then score with Crampo there.
If they score like the way they did yesterday. Someone was like, one of my guys at the back here. He said, have you seen what your BlackStars has done?
And you know that's the funny part. The moment the BlackStar lose, is your BlackStar.
Yeah, it's not there. Nobody here.
Is your BlackStar. Well, guys, we're just about a week away from the Habitat Fair. We are encouraging you to let go of the overpriced land, home ownership and furnishing deals. Get the best deals for all your housing needs at one place. We are calling you to visit the EcoBank Journeys Mini Fair at Good Park near Accra Mall from the 13th of September to the 15th of September. The fair is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily and admission is free. Be there to engage with various stakeholders in the house and value chain for your home ownership needs. EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair. Get a house, make it a home. The EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats, rent to own and sponsored by Elegant Homes, where quality meet value. Safety and home solutions. You think of a door, we have it. G&J Technical Services, G&J the generator people, Def Tracker Woodlands, a master plan gated city, DPS Pipes, connecting you to life, Home Well Building Supplies, let's build together, Global Lighting, your solution to quality lighting, Superlock, you deserve the best, Everlast, UPVC windows and doors, the right choice for windows and doors, Syntex Tanker is strong, tough, less Fortune Limited, Curtains Papa, be luxuriously perfect, build free solar hybrid air conditioned superior cooling with energy. DBS Roofing Industry, your roof expect virtual security, complete security solution, and of course your bent security doors protecting lives and properties. Clifton Homes, beautiful homes, wise investment. Tino Solutions, the renewable energy expect. EcoBank, Journeys Habitat Fair. Get a house and make it a home. Remember, it's coming next week, the September 13th to 15th at the Good Park near Accra Mall. Okay, well, the BlackStars were in action yesterday. They weren't the only team that was in action yesterday, but possibly the only team that lost at home. And it's the first game in terms, first game of what, 6 games? Sorry?
Burundi won against Malawi. Burundi went away.
Oh, okay.
And they won
okay.
against Malawi.
And they won against Malawi.
So don't make us look too poor.
Unfair. You're talking football. You're mentioning Burundi and you're okay. So compare their fate to yours. Vim.
Yes, Vim. Okay, so let me just bring you a wrap of some of the results that took place yesterday and bring you just an update on what some of the games that will happen today. So Tunisia in Group A, Tunisia played Madagascar. They won 1-0. Tunisia winning there. Group B, Central African Republic and Lesotho were in action. They won 3-1 at home. Algeria also defeated Equatorial Guinea 2-0. Ghana, of course, losing to Angola 1-0. Then Guinea-Bissau, they won 1-0 against Eswatini. Congo defeating South Sudan 1-0. Malawi losing to Burundi 3-2. And so those were the games that happened in the AFCON qualifiers yesterday. The games also to look forward to today. And just look at those here. In Group D, there's going to be Morocco and Gabon. There's going to be Togo and Liberia in Group E. And there will be Sierra Leone and Chad in Group G. Then Ivory Coast will play Zambia. And in Group H, DR Congo will play Guinea. Then Mali will play Mozambique. And Kenya and Zimbabwe's game is underway. It's currently goalless. There's a game also between South Africa and Uganda. There is Senegal versus Burkina Faso. All games to look forward to in the AFCON qualifiers. Guys, let's get to it now. Actually, you were on grounds. Just give us a little insight into what you saw. What you observed on the day after 90 minutes of football?
Well, I think it wasn't great. This is one of the most ill-prepared Black Stars games that I had covered. So if you look at
Ill prepared on the parts of the Black Stars.
everybody,
Okay.
everybody. So if you start from the Black Stars, they had 2 days of training session because the first day only 10 players turned up, and then on the second day you had 22 players. Jordan showed up in camp on Wednesday, because the coach had given him a day off. And then Elisha also as well on Tuesday. In fact, also on Wednesday. And at that presser before the game, Otuado had mentioned that Jordan had issues. I mean, he just changed clubs, he had fitness issues and all of that. So he gave him an extra day off before he came to camp. And then he said, even for Elisha Usu, the only way he could play was with an injection. So I did not expect those two players to start. But the fact that Otuado was forced to start both players just goes to show you that in terms of what he wanted to do, the squad he selected perhaps did not have the profiles that he needed, at least in terms of numbers, so that if one player was not available, another would replace him. And the sense I got from people that I spoke to was that they did not think that the Elisha Owusu situation was as bad as they uncovered when he came to camp. Otherwise, they would have perhaps given that slot to a different player. I mean, if they knew that he could only play with an injection, maybe he would not have been called, or another midfielder would have started in his stead. Also, that selection was also hindered by the fitness concerns regarding Ashimeru Majid. And that's how come, even when the game was screaming for a player like him, Otuado delayed and delayed and delayed. Maybe he could have come on, maybe he could have gambled a bit sooner and introduced Ashimeru Majid. But those were some of the dynamics and some of the things that were playing on his mind. When I say some of the most ill-prepared, I looked around. Immediately I got into the stadium and it didn't look like they were ready to host a Black Stars match. I mean, we'll come to the pitch and all of that. But even from, you see where the substitute bench is, typically before every Black Stars game, the branding around it will be changed. They'll bring something new. But you got the sense that they had tried to clean some of those stuff in the morning of the game and all of that. And for me, those were things that did not really speak well, because you have known for a long time that you're going to host a game like this. But that should not, even in itself, as bad as it was, take the focus from the main issue that for me hampered everything the Black Stars could have done. And here's the thing. The Black Stars were not great. I'm sure the players themselves would agree with all of us that the performance on the day was not vintage. But it was practically impossible for them to play any kind of football. And I've heard a lot of people say that they should have crossed the ball a bit more. They should have not bothered trying to pass the ball from the back or trying to be a bit fluid. Essentially, we are all saying because of someone's incompetence, the Black Stars needed to go route one, which is essentially cross and hope. Cross the balls into the box and hope that something happens. But before I continue, please indulge me and help me with an insert of Seth Panwum. Muftar, is that a correct pronunciation of the name? Panwum, the board chair of the NSA.
Okay. All right. So we're going to listen to the board chair of the NSA. He was speaking on Asemper FM earlier on Asemper FM, and he was reacting to, what do you call it, the criticism about the state of the pitch. And this is what he had to say.
I had to review
No.
their recovery plan, and
So this is Majid Bawa, the Deputy Director General. I'm asking for Seth Panwum. After that, we'll put the two together, and then we'll speak to those, because I would like people would want to situate the entire conversation about yesterday's events within the proper context, so that people get to see the scale of what we're dealing with and how come we ended up where we are with a playing surface like that. So if the insert is ready.
I had to review their recovery plan, and I think they are right on track. I had an update yesterday and this morning from Kumasi, and I think all hands are on desk to meet the deadline. I think in a few days' time, the pitch should be in 200 perfect condition, 200% perfect condition, for the game. And for the floodlight, media boxes, and all those things has been sorted. As of yesterday, Calvin, the contractor, was also at the site, to put some finishing to the media center, the press center. It's one point that CAF don't compromise on. Well, that is what you showcase to the world and to their media, their TV rights holders.
Okay. All right. Actually,
so this was Seth Paum. He was on the 22nd of August. He was on GBC, one of their programs on the Sports Plus channel, and he was essentially given assurances that the playing surface at the Barbara Sports Stadium will be in shape. This was 2 weeks before the game. At the time, the pitch had deteriorated, so there were a lot of concerns because they had rented out the pitch to WF Kumuyi, if I've got the name right, for a week-long gospel show at the Barbara Sports Stadium. Now, the pitch was exposed to heavy metal equipment, cars, people stomping and dancing and jumping and all of that for back to back to back without any pitch covering. Now, if you follow local football, this will not surprise you. This is how the NSA behaves. But I wanted us to play this insert because, look, the Bible is very clear on things God hates. If you read Proverbs chapter 6, 16 to 19, it says there are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him. And he goes on to list them. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict in the community. 6 things are mentioned. Lying appears twice of the things God hates, only that it is described in different ways. So the first one is very specific, a lying tongue, and then the last one says a false witness who pours out lies. This man, the man whose voice you heard, he lied.
About the readiness of the pitch.
He lied. It wasn't just about the readiness. And for me, we hear people like this lie all the time. But it is what it means to you listening to me that matters. You see, before his appointment in October 2021, at that time he was the technical advisor to Vice President Dr. Bawumia. Before his appointment then, he was already on the board of the NSA. So this isn't a new space for him. Back then when, was it Kujo Bajuman was the board chair, Seth was on the board. Then he got promoted as the board chair. Now, my knowledge of pitch maintenance, licensing regimes on the continent have told me that, or have taught me, there is no mechanism in the world that could have restored the pitch as we saw that day, right? Within 2 weeks to a FIFA or a CAF standard pitch. And so if you remember, I sat in this very seat and I said, that man is lying. What he is saying is practically impossible. It is not done anywhere. And there is nobody in the world who can do that. But there is only one of 2 scenarios that will make him lie or say the sort of things that he said. Which is, he either does not know what a FIFA or CAF standard size pitch looks like and what it takes to get it to that standard, or he knew and he was knowingly lying to Ghanaians that this could be done. Either way, it is unacceptable.
So your point is that
there is a certain behavior, there is a certain attitude, approach towards public service that I find to be very despicable. Look, when you have done a poor job, be humble, accept it, and tell people that these are the challenges we're working with. Don't try to gaslight people. People are not stupid. The people who were watching the GBC show that day, the people who were listening to the various radio stations that rebroadcast that show or that speech that day, they are not stupid. They know what a FIFA certified or a pitch that ought to meet those standards, they know what it looks like. Even if we don't have one in Ghana here, they have seen and they saw what happened at the African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire, next door Cote d'Ivoire. They watch their favorite European clubs every day. But this attitude, and you see this week, if ever there was any doubt about the posturing of the governing class towards the rest of us, this week has been a fantastic manifestation of how arrogant they are, even in their incompetence. You heard that man, Frank Ano, the man, Ano Dompré, the MP. You heard him. You heard Kennedy Japan. I just played to you Seth Paum. Today, in the midst of people's anger, you heard the posturing of Majid Bawa. Unapologetic, completely detached from the reality of the people. And you see, everywhere in the world, people rent out playing surfaces. But the common denominator in that practice is that they cover the pitch. They cover the playing surface. The only times that the playing surface will be exposed is if it is used for a sporting event that requires the use of the pitch. Even that, it often happens in the off-season or when there is a break. And so there is a long period for the grass to grow back. So when you have lied to the people that this is what you're... And you see, there is... Our brother Sami Battles posted a 6-second clip of what led to the goal. Bro, it is horrible. The ball took an awkward bounce a microsecond before it got to Abdul Mumin, who, by the way, appeared to have his feet stuck into the grass and so could not make the cleanest of contacts to get the ball away. When you produce rubbish like the Black Stars were forced to play on, like we saw yesterday, the posturing the rest of us expected, the posturing of any right-thinking person is that you will be humble. Your communication will reflect a certain appreciation that we have erred. We have not conducted ourselves well. We have let people down. And so we admit that, but we are prepared to take steps. Even in our anger, people will see through the honesty of what you have said and they will forgive you.
All the time forgive.
Either way, you have to get the job done.
Yeah.
What you do not do, just let me finish, is to get on radio and start speaking as if people, you did us a favor by taking the job as Deputy General of the, what's the name, of the NSA. The comments that Majid Bawa made on Asempa, they were disgraceful.
And
I looked at that, watching that pitch yesterday, I thought it was rubbish. I didn't know that immediately I got off that flight today, I would hear something worse than the rubbish I saw at the Accra Sport, at the Barbera Sports Stadium.
And just hold on there for me, and let's hear from Majid Bawa, as you mentioned, spoke on Asempa FM earlier, and for the benefit of those who haven't heard it, this is what he said when he was questioned about how they handle the pitch.
Are they suggesting that the Angolans were playing in the sky? My brother, they are all footballers. Those they assemble to play against the Black Stars are professionals. We assemble our professionals. They all play on the same pitch. Yesterday they were here. The Angolans were here. They trained between 4 and 5. They were here. The Black Stars also came. They also trained here. CAF has inspected the pitch and approved it for the game. Let's just look at what happened. We might not be coaches, but we follow football and we understand football. We all suspected and we all wanted, even the fans themselves were agitating for change in the 60th minute.
Yeah, so that's Majid Bawa there.
Zach.
Facts. Full facts.
You see,
By speaking facts.
The man spoke facts.
What I find problematic is that moments after the rubbish he said on radio, the NSA now says the pitch that Majid Bawa in the morning came to tell us that it has been certified and approved by CAF and per inference meets the regulations. They, in their own rights, are going against CAF's recommendations and approval to say they are suspending use of the facility. Where does this make sense to you?
Maintain other things, not the pitch.
They want to maintain the pitch.
See,
And
other
the
things.
vandalized things
Preston,
now.
I feel very upset and insulted by the posturing, the content of what Majid Bawa said, the tone of what he said, and the fact that he actually thought it was believable. Like, it is one thing convincing yourself that this makes sense. It's another thing in communication to look at your audience and then anticipate that, oh, they are going to swallow this. They are going to buy it, and so it is worth telling them. And you see, all of this, we are here because we have put square pegs in round holes. We have put people who have no business running the NSA there. And this has been the case for years. So when we complain about Professor Chumesi, who yesterday.
No,
Actually,
so let's go.
actually,
We're going to start with Joe.
but just land for me.
We start with Joe Penge.
Relax.
This is not very fair.
Yeah, but I want you to land for me so I can come to the guys
But
so they can
that's-
have a bite. So just land for me. Give me. I'll come back to you.
So you let me finish.
So I'm giving you 1 more minute to wrap up.
This thing is not.
Yes,
thing is
you
not.
have a lot to say. I can tell, but I want
all
the
of
guys
this,
to have a bite.
all of this is because we have put people who have no business running the NSA there.
Yeah.
And it's all because we have decided that, and you see, I don't have any problem with putting people who are politically exposed in that office. We know that the governance system we run here is a winner takes all. So when the NPP wins, it is only their party members and people who they have good relationship with who will get positions. That's okay. My only belief and my only disappointment is that within the party, there are people who are qualified to run the NSA and run it profitably and run it well. There are people who are qualified to be at the sports ministry and run it well. Otherwise, how do you tell me? And you see, at each time, there is evidence of incompetence. Like, it stares us in the face. We get to suffer for these people's incompetence, yet the government is always tone deaf, to the point where the former NSA Director General, he will get himself into a matter that looks, feels, and stinks. Yet, the government is not minded to clear its own officials, because I sit here and I'm asking myself, how is it that people today do not know the truth of the matter involving Professor Chumesi and the case of the missing Toyota Hilux? For Professor Chumesi's own sake, he needs us to believe that he did no wrong there. But how will we know if people have petitioned the special prosecutor, national security, BNI,
Yoko,
presidency, Yoko, every single agency that matters in this country, and yet one person decides that no matter the contents of this matter, nobody should conclude that investigation for us to get the finality of it. And then that same person remains into office until the person's incompetence stinks to the high heavens, that it chokes the very people who appointed him. They can no longer take him, and so they push him out, bring in another person.
Let me come to you.
I'm just going to conclude by saying this.
No, I'll come back to you.
I'm just going to conclude by saying this.
Let me come to
We've gotten to a point where
Yeah.
I will tell the BlackStars players, if you feel the playing surface that we have here is a threat to your career, don't come. Because if you come and play on this rubbish field and you get... By the way, we've seen BlackStars players whose careers have ended after picking up injuries in the national team. Jerry Akaminku readily comes to mind. So it is not today that we are going to say, oh, this thing won't happen. It has happened before. Right? Tomorrow, if you hear that often we like to say that, oh, some of these players are not committed, they won't come because they don't want to play on these hard surfaces. If after what we've subjected them to, if tomorrow, Iñaki Williams, Mohamed Kudus, Thomas Partey, if they wake up and they have a rethink of all of this and say, you know what, this is not worth it anymore, it will be on the heads of the people at the NSA and the sports ministry.
All right,
the ones who have left us in this situation.
Mm-hmm. All right, very.
You want to ask me a question?
I mean, I don't have any questions.
No, you don't have a question.
Yeah, just go ahead and make your point. Just go ahead and make your point.
Achu, he was on the ground. He saw everything, and he has given us a perfect picture as to what transpired. But from where I sit, Musbao, Ghana losing to Angola was always coming. Did we create our own luck? Because they say luck is created. We didn't create our own luck. So a part of the defeat can be attributed to the pitch. However, Musbao, since the opening of the Bawayara Sports Stadium to national team football in 2022, March 2022, the first game that we played was against Nigeria. It ended 0-0. Subsequently, exactly a year ago, this team struggled against Angola. We were on this very show when the former Director General of the National Sports Authority, Fent interviewed him, and he said Chris Hughton said this is the best pitch he has ever seen. It's exactly a year ago. It was September 2023. The pitch was terrible. Fent was at the stadium for that game. He came back and told us the nature of the pitch, how terrible it was. We needed a last-minute goal from Antoine Semenyo to win. We came up against Central African Republic. We struggled. We came up against Madagascar. We needed a last-minute Iñaki Williams goal to qualify for AFCON 2023. From where I sit, right, the Black Stars hasn't necessarily put themselves in a position to be able to win matches comfortably. In fact, just early on this year, when they play Central African Republic at that very same venue, Ghana won that game 4-3. You 4-2. 4-3. It didn't won 4-3. You were at the stadium for that game. See, if you have a team that cannot see off games comfortably, trust me, you would always find yourself in situations like this. When the team lost against Angola, the Bayero Stadium was not great. When they won against Madagascar and Central African Republic, the team was not great. We can look at this performance against Angola yesterday and go like, okay, this was a performance many actually believe was an improvement from what the country had seen during the African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. But clearly the point was that the boys were not up there. Sometimes you need luck in a game of football. Unfortunately, Abdul Mumin was not lucky. On any day that Mumin was lucky, he clears that ball, it goes out. Because on this horrible pitch, they were still able to clear the balls. Majid Bawa might have said things in the midst of the atmosphere that, come on, if you're a PR person and you're advising, you will tell him not to speak. But the major question is, where did Angola also score their goal? They scored their goal on the same pitch. It could have been at their end. If they were unfortunate, just like Ghana was unfortunate. If Ghana was piling pressure on them at their end and their defender found himself in a similar situation, probably it could have gone in Ghana's favor. So the defeat of the Black Stars was always coming. Because in the last couple of years, the team hasn't been great. We went to the AFCON. We lost to Comoros on a perfect pitch. We went to the AFCON. We lost to Cape Verde on a perfect pitch. So what happened? In fact, against Cape Verde, I was sitting inside that stadium when the ball went through the legs of the players and came through. Easy for a tap-in for the win. Players can make mistakes on great pitches. They can make mistakes on horrible pitches as we saw yesterday. But I do not think that defeat can be down to only that pitch. Because we've won matches on that pitch.
I think Otuado made that point in his presser that he wouldn't necessarily blame the pitch because he says they won against Central African Republic. But then you can also,
that's what I'm saying here. You need to create your luck, right? If the pitch was in a great shape, you look at this pitch, and now probably would all be looking at the players and say, you played this football on a very good pitch. So the defeat could have been described as a fair defeat. But we are actually looking at the defeat from the perspective of the pitch because many of us actually believe that the pitch was terrible. Forgetting that matches have been won on that terrible pitch many times. I see a finger from Rome.
Yeah, thank you Jonas.
Hey, Sicho no talk. We have a guest in the house. You'll be in-house person.
Everybody's.
You'll be in-house person, so relax. You go talk.
What is he saying?
What did he say? We know that,
Continue. It will get to his turn. So you continue.
We'll come to you later.
Yeah, continue. Sicho says you should relax. Relax.
We'll come to you.
He said no. Do this here.
He's actually eating and drinking water.
After your time is going. Continue.
Let me just wrap up. Right. To the National Sports Authority, a few weeks ago, we were here talking about how government is making promises left, right, and center in terms of the maintenance of the facilities. Because they are all promising that when they come, they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to do that. If the National Sports Authority is incompetent, in the words of Achu, right, it is because the people who have put them there and they are supposed to ensure that they generate or they are able to maintain the facility are the reason why they are incompetent. Musbao, you are driving this conversation because Joy Sports believe that you are a very competent person to drive it.
Thank you.
The next moment we realize that you are not competent, we'll kick you out and replace you with someone. Over the years, we've had people head this very institution that is supposed to take care of the facilities for this country, and many of them have done horrible job. And sometimes you cannot blame them alone for it. So, for instance, you have cabinet demanding that National Sports Authority, we want you to raise a certain specific amount of money at the end of the year. Where are they going to get the money from? It's renting out the facility. As Achu mentioned, it is all over the world, facilities are rented out. But what must you do to protect those facilities? Get them pitch covers. Why has it taken so long for this country to get pitch covers? I recall in 2017, Isaac Esiama categorically said that they needed pitch covers. 7 years on, those pitch covers are still not there. Who is supposed or who was engaged to make available those pitch covers? And to date, we do not have those pitch covers.
So whose job is it to get the pitch covers?
Is there NSA?
But obviously,
That's what I'm saying.
They will need the funds to do that.
They will need the funds to do that. Maybe, just maybe.
But have we not established that the funds money is the reason they rent out these services?
Yes.
So why is there a question of money for pitch covers?
Maybe it's not enough.
And hang on.
Okay.
I just cited the example of how this National Sports Authority is asked to generate a certain amount of money every year.
Yeah, but
let's assume
that does not answer the question.
No.
You've been given
let me make the point. When I make the point, you get it. Let's assume that the National Sports Authority is asked by the Finance Ministry to generate 1 million Ghana cedis a year, right? The authority is only able to even generate 500,000 Ghana cedis, right? Let's say during the Christmas period where they rent out these facilities for musical concerts and other stuff. They've not even been able to meet quarter of what they've been asked to generate. Which money is going to be used to buy the pitch covers? Because the money you are generating is supposed to go into the Ministry of Finance.
Can I respond to you? Do you remember the Stonebwoy concert?
Yes.
Did we not hear that Stonebwoy actually paid for provisions to be made for the pitch covers? And that he made the payments, the people that he paid them, and by the people I mean the NSA, who rented out the facility to the clients, charged for pitch covering. Listen, took money ostensibly to provide a covering for the pitch, but did not do it. How then can we, in good conscience, with knowledge of this practice, then still sit here and pretend that these people are not making enough money to pay? I'm only saying that.
No, actually, I'm
only saying that.
Pitch covering.
It was. No. That was the specific matter.
What you pay for,
Muftau,
is that
Muftau,
anytime you rent the facility,
if you are going to dispute it, be sure that it was not the Stonebwoy example.
I am stating facts.
Which is that Stonebwoy did not pay for pitch covering.
And even recently,
I want us to establish
recently
that.
I've been part of conversation, part of meetings
Let's be
where
specific.
renting out a facility,
Muftau,
you are told that a certain amount of money is taken from you as maintenance of the facility.
Muftau, let's be specific.
So when you go to a National Sports Authority to rent it, they will tell you that security alone, let's say, is 60,000, right? When you want to use the stadium, it is 100,000. When you want to use the washroom for cleaning and all that, it is 50,000. And when we hand over the facility to you, you are going to make a deposit of 100,000 Ghana cedis. At the end of your event, if nothing happens to the facility and you hand it over to us in a proper condition, you came and meet it, we'll give that money back to you.
All right.
But if we come to pick it at a time that you've destroyed ABC, we will withhold that money for the maintenance. That is the structure of the renting out the facility.
All right, move the land for me. Fence is.
I've
in
landed.
Jordan.
Sicho,
just like that.
We'll go to fence later.
No.
Fence want to move
Musbao.
on. You know, you know.
No, Musbao, it's a conversation we're having. Fans can wait a minute. There are things we need to clarify.
No, this is not an issue. This issue is secondary. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about serious things. Ghana lost the game.
We'll come to that. It's important to me that we clarify that matter.
We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it.
The reason I didn't want to talk about the pitch covering is, if you're even being charged to rent pitch covering, it's different from raising money to buy it. You can buy something worth 5 billion or 5 million, and you are renting it out for 20,000, hoping that in the next 5 years or the next 1 year you break even. So if you pay for pitch covering, it doesn't mean it's enough money to buy pitch covers. You get it? To charge for pitch covers, it means you have it or you are planning to get it. So the fact that I paid for you to have the pitch covers for my program doesn't mean that money is enough to acquire it. It's only for rent. Stoneboy was called pitch cover Abakava Crash Post Stadium. Only he can't buy it. He can rent it. There's a difference, right? So you pay for it to be rented.
Okay.
You pay for you to use it. But the NSA would have to acquire it first. In acquiring it, it's a lot of money. You need bulk money to acquire something before you rent it out for pieces to break even. So let's not even get into that one. But let's talk about this issue. Look, whoever says that the defeat to BlackStars, the pitch didn't play a key part, has basic lack of knowledge about football. Basic, minimum. Or the person is being diabolic. Or the person is supporting agenda. Minimum. See, that is why when they ask the simple question, were they playing in the sky, then you should know where they are coming from. No, seriously. When they ask, you see, and when Muftar said, yeah, you can be lucky and you can be unlucky. And for Abdul Mumin, he probably was unlucky. But he was unlucky because of the nature of the pitch. He was very unlucky to be. Look, now let me break this down. There's something about high-level football at a professional level where it is all about instincts. So a player like Thomas Partey, a ball rolls to him, and he quickly, first time of asking, plays a pass. On that pitch, Partey can't use his instincts anymore. He has to think through every single touch of the ball. Because you need your muscles, or you need your brains, your muscles, and every part of your body to be paying attention to every single movement of the ball, because the pitch is incredibly unpredictable. And when the pitch is predictable, it's simply because the ball rolls neatly, sweetly. So you can predict that once you've seen the pass coming, you know the ball will roll to you to this point. When the pitch is good, you can even predict the bounce of the pitch. In fact, when the pitch is good and the pitch is weighted to a certain level, after your warm-up, a good player can predict that when I pass the ball and the ball bounces off the pitch, that is about the height of the bounce.
And how it can skid.
Off the pitch. It is easily predictable. Every good pitch should be predictable. Every good pitch. And that is why, in CAF and FIFA's own wisdom, when you are playing these qualifiers, there is a mandatory training on the surface you will use under the same conditions you use for the match day, the day before the game, especially for the away team. You think they are stupid? You think that Angola didn't come to train on that pitch to know the conditions of the pitch and predict the pitch? But the point is, when you have to think about every single movement of the ball on the pitch, you lose your instinct. Jordan Ayew's chance that the defender came to block.
Yeah.
On a good pitch, it's one time.
Oh.
The defender doesn't make the room to block. On the bad pitch, Jordan has to take a touch, which allows the defender to recover, to get into a blocking position. How do you tell me the BlackStars didn't lose the game and a key component of that defeat was down to the pitch? The Jordan Ayew pass that he could have squared to Kudus. On a better pitch, on a predictable pitch, Jordan easily gathers the ball in his stride and plays the pass way before he takes the third touch. But what happened? The first bounce of the ball was awkward to the extent that Jordan's control, the ball had to come off his knee and tie, Basabi like that, and the ball moved away from him. By the time Jordan is getting the ball under his belt to pick the pass, he can't even pick a good pass. On a better pitch, the weight of that pass may be good enough. On a poor pitch, the weight of that pass and the bounce of the ball is unpredictable, whether the ball is bouncing forward or bouncing behind him. So there is nobody who knows enough about football who can tell me that this defeat to the BlackStars a big part of the blame isn't down to the pitch. Having said all that I have said about unpredictability of the pitch, you also need to be honest to yourself and be fair and watch the football. You see, when you are watching football, you need to look at what the coach wants to do and ask if it is doable. That is why when Eric Ten Hag wants Man United to pass from the back, he becomes a laughing stock. Because what he wants the team to do and the materials he has, it won't work. But when you watch the ball Otto wants the BlackStars to play, it only works on good pitches. The ball Otto wants the BlackStars to play, it only works on good pitches. That is why even though we beat Central African Republic, we didn't play well. That is why even though we've won games in Kumasi, we've not played well.
What kind of ball does Otto want?
So it doesn't. Otto's game, when you look at them, they are trying to play a lot of short passes. And I'll come to the tactics a little bit and I'll wrap it up. Muftar said that we won games in Kumasi. We won those games in Kumasi and went to AFCON to disgrace ourselves.
I said we won the games, but we were not great.
So that's what I'm re-establishing. So the winning thing is peppering over massive problems. In fact, it is this defeat that opens the eye to people that tell about the pitch. If like the pitch good, and if you know a little bit of football, and you want to be fair and appreciate what Otto wanted to do, you would know that Otto's game is all about passing. Otto's game is all about quick movement. Otto's game is all about moving the ball quick across the pitch. Can you move the ball quick across that potato farm? Is it doable? Is it possible? So straight away, there's something in Otto's game that can't be played on this terrible pitch. It's not possible. It is not possible. So yes, we beat Central African Republic here 4-3. Did we play well? Yesterday, we lost to Angola. Did we play well? Because we've seen the BlackStars lose games, and if come out of the game saying that Charlie, we're unlucky, we played well. That looked like a game that we could play well. And that is how Otto wants to play. And that stems from the first half and the second half that you saw. Look, the first half, I don't think Elijah Owusu should have started. I'm not a big fan of Elijah. Right? I don't also think maybe Jordan should have started. The guy camp no that he starts some way. But no problem. I can understand Otto's thinking in why he chose the players to start. In that first half, in the first 15 minutes, this is how the team were building up. When the back line or the goalkeeper has the ball, Elijah Owusu drops into, actually, I don't know, maybe the TV is different, but Elijah Owusu drops around the center backs. He goes to the left side of right center back. Abdul stays central, and then Salisu goes left. Ali Duseidu and then Tariq Lamptey move to hug the lines. And then there's Fatai Saaku and Semenyo who come into the half space around Jordan. Then Kudus stops playing the number 10, comes around Thomas Partey. That was basically the shape of the build-up. Now, when you see a team that is structured this way, with a compact midfield, and the wingers playing narrow, what does it tell you? Almost like a midfield box something. The team wants to keep the ball and pass it close to each other. Could they have passed the ball on that pitch? Impossible. So, that is why I'm saying that what Otto wanted to do, the pitch, it will not work. The pitch wasn't going to help him. So, the whole of the first half, almost every player in that team, including and we speak like the pitch didn't favor us. But to be honest, it didn't favor Angola. Because they had several counter-attacking opportunities where they couldn't also control the ball, so they had to stop. Actually, Sindala go get ball one-on-one, then the ball bounce somewhere, then stop. Because we know they are very good counter-attacking side. So the pitch wasn't good for the two teams. So let's not discount it. But if the pitch wasn't good for the two teams, the team that had the most of the ball, and the team whose game plan was clear, but the pitch hindered them, we can speak for that. And it happened to the two teams. Look, Kudus go fit pick ball. Kudus is passing the ball to Fatai Saaku. The ball will bounce and find Tariq Lamptey. Did you not see it? Tariq Lamptey is behind the Saaku. Kudus is trying to pass the ball to Fatai Saaku so that he can start an attack. The ball will bounce and it will be Tariq who would have to run and come and pick the ball. How do you tell me that surface didn't affect the way the team wanted to play?
But why insist on that style, especially after you've trained on the pitch, you've seen the nature of the pitch? Was there really nothing that could be done to try and tweak the game in a way that you can get the results, and then we can deal with the pitch issues?
So in the second half, so in the first half, they were trying to. So when you look at the first half, we were poor. Both teams, we were poor. We couldn't play. We couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't move. We were poor. Now it took all of those players on that pitch 55 minutes to adapt to the unpredictability of that surface. About 55 minutes for Fatai Saaku's mind, Kudus's mind, Partey's mind, everybody's mind to switch. Because when you play on that stuff, when you go to our communities, our Sakura parks, some places stone surface, stone quite did, but we will play. We play there. We are so used to
this is stone. Like there will be some
cut
like this.
We play there and then we'll pick momentum with it.
Yeah.
These boys are playing. 6 of them were playing the Premier League. You go and play in Emirates, carpet grass, go to Old Trafford. Boga, this is Baba. It took them about 55 minutes to get used to what they were playing on. And this explains for me why Otto couldn't make the subs at the time we were calling for it. In the second half, the boys were a bit quicker with the ball. The boys were taking more risk. And Angola were like, Charlie Bono, we can't counter. So let's defend and get 0-0. So Angola sat deep. And the BlackStars saw a lot of the ball. At that time, the team had picked momentum. The balance in the team looked better. The players were doing a lot better. Now, if you're a coach like Otoado, looking at the challenges these players had gone through in the first half to actually adapt to the pitch late in the second half, and the momentum they had picked, it is not that simple for you to break that momentum with changes. That is why great coaches like Pep Guardiola at times will say that 90 minutes is not being able to change a player. Why? The flow of the game is good. Players have picked momentum and they are doing the right thing. There's nobody who come off the bench and automatically, in that condition, automatically change anything. Not Inaki.
It took others 55 minutes to get used to it. How much
Yes,
more
now you
somebody-
bench by what you can do. The pitch, you see, that's why when people are discrediting the pitch. It is like you've taken a child to school in Mustal's village. The kid doesn't have a desk, but you want the kid to come to Presec. So it will be one out of in every 20 years, you get one student who God has blessed to a certain degree that person can come to Presec.
All right,
But
Sister, land for me.
I am that
Land
student.
for me.
but you'll be unfair to ask them to be getting grades that will bring them to Presec. That is what we've done to these BlackStars. You see, so what was in that second half, Otto should have made the change right before the second half started. But once they started the second half and they picked that momentum and the balance was clear and they were playing a lot better, it was difficult for him to break that momentum and that flow. So I feel for what I understand him. Then finally on the goal, then I wrap up. You see, there were about 3 mistakes that led to the goal. First mistake, first blame, pitch. That one, I don't discount it. If you discount it, you're being dishonest. Second blame was, in fact, there were 3 blames. Second blame was Alidu Seidu. You see, it was so, I can understand he was tired at that time of the game and everything. But the way his man got around him, it was too easy. That is also probably because he's right-footed. He showed the guy to the right, the guy dribbled and came to his weaker side. By the time he could rebalance himself, the man is gone. Put in the cross. Mumina thought was unlucky. I'm not blaming him for the clearance. And then the goal happened. Do you see the similarity between the goal we consider the goal we scored against them when they were here the last time? Pepe. There's a many goal.
Similar.
Charlie, it be revenge. Around the same time, around the same kind of goal, they've done it. So look, let's not be expecting our BlackStars to play like Brazil, or play like Spain, or play like any good team, when we are not, as a country, giving them the platform to perform well. Otto has to find a way to stop the team from conceding, because whether he's been on a good pitch or a bad pitch, we've been conceding. What I can pardon him for is that we've not been able to play well when we've played in Ghana, because the pitches are not good. But when you don't play well and you're not able to execute what the coach wants to do, you cannot fully tell if that system works or not. So we'll play like this on these pitches. We'll go to AFCON on good pitches, and because we've not mastered and corrected the mistakes with the way the coach wants us to play, we'll go there and still beat us in the group stages. We'll come here and we'll come and cry. As for the renovation that they've closed the place down, they're not closing it down because of the pitch. They are closing it down because of the advertising hoarding that they vandalized. So when they reopen, the pitch is likely to be the same. Finally, before Fentu and Natinho, what's up? Before they come into the party, look, I've stopped blaming NSA and the government. They've shown over so many years that they are not serious about sports. My biggest blame goes to CAF. You see, when you are handling these things, to approve that pitch for any team or any group of players to use, it is on CAF. Because it is CAF that has to take the initiative and tell Ghana that you are not serious. You won't play in Ghana. But as long as they allow us to play here, and as long as we've shown ourselves not to be competent enough to get good pitches, I don't blame Ghana anymore. Now I blame CAF.
Thank you.
No, it's a diplomatic relationship.
Well, diplomatic. Well, I completely support
we
it.
give them some money.
CAF suggest ban.
No,
Right,
CAF
I'm going to come to. I'm going to come to Fent
bribe
now.
people that
I'm not
you-
sure is
you
Fent
call
on.
them
Is Fent
bombers.
on? But it seems he's okay. Fent is on. Great. And I'm going to come to Fent. Fent is joining us all the way from Rome. Then I also come to Nathan Alato, who also.
Where is he
wants to
joining us
chip in.
from? Fent is joining from Rome. That's where he's joining from.
But let me just
Go
also
come,
remind you that you can listen to Joy FM, Love FM, Adu FM, Asemper FM, Nichira FM on TuneIn. We are back on TuneIn, so we've got you covered. Everything, music, sports, news, entertainment. You can listen to us on TuneIn. So go to the App Store, Google Play Store to download TuneIn and listen to Joy FM, Live FM, Adoma FM, Asemper FM, Shure FM, and stay connected there. And also, there is a big public lecture coming up, and it's Joy News and an amalgam of professional bodies has organized a public speaking event on the theme Transformed Individuals Transforming the World, a challenge for the religious community in Ghana. Our speakers include Dr. Philip Engman, Dr. Mrs. Yvonne Yirenchiwa Eseku, Ambassador Umar Sanda Ahmed, and our main speaker is Reverend Dr. Joseph Kofi Entry. The moderator is Philip Osei-Bonsu, the host of Ekusisen on Asemper FM. The date is 17th of September, 6:30 p.m. at the British Council Hall. For more information, please contact 0244-220-427. The event is powered by Joy News and Joy FM. Fentio, I cannot come to you. And then we'll come to Nathaniel Ato, and then we'll see where we go. All right, Fent.
Before Fentio come, Fentio is that athletics guy. Fentio, do you remember that the African Games, athletes ran plenty? We didn't say the tracks were not good, though. We said the wind. The wind was against them. That one stuff, it didn't count. You are telling me the pitches didn't count. The track is certified, though. But you're saying it's your athletes. No. Killer, what's the pitch?
If you're an athletics person, clearly you could understand.
But if you're a football person, you don't understand pitch.
We did not discount it.
Fentio, let me come to Fent.
It's not about discounting, but clearly
it's Fent's time now. So Fent,
yes, Musbao. Listen, I think I don't want to go into the issues of the NSA and the pitch because their exquisite, spectacular incompetence has been well documented. And I really don't want us to go into that. And this closure is just another comical move that will bring absolutely zero results. Because in 2023 alone, they closed down the stadium 2 times for maintenance. Even before the game against Central African Republic, they closed the stadium down for maintenance. And yet every time they reopen it, it looks exactly the same. In fact, they renovated it, full-scale renovation in 2022, just before that World Cup qualifier against Nigeria. And yet, before every qualifying match, we will have to go through a series of compromises from CAF in order to get the stadium certified. And I agree with Sicho 100%. CAF themselves are not serious. Because if they are serious, there is no way they should make as many compromises as they have done, as consistently as they have done, in order to allow Ghana to play at the Babaya Sports Stadium. And I don't expect anything else to come out of this recent closure. Because what has to happen at that pitch is there has to be a complete relaying of that pitch.
Absolutely.
Because if it is just another case of let's close down the stadium and let's water the grass until it's green, then we're not going anywhere. We don't have, in fact, there are a couple of things that are the reasons why we keep going back to the same situations. I don't even think that we engage people with the right technical know-how to maintain the pitch. I don't think so. So the people we engage to maintain the pitch, I don't think there are people that are competent enough to even maintain this pitch. But you see, we can't move away from them because we've engaged the services of these people for so long and we owe them so much money that if we move ahead or away from them to go and bring other people, then the people will start immediately demanding for their money. And we don't want that. And those people who are also currently contracted are having to make compromises because there's no competence. But the NSA keeps engaging their services. And so we keep going about in circles and we never get anywhere. And for me, I think it is very disrespectful. It's annoying. And it's a microcosm of what's happening in this country in so many sectors. So I'm not entirely very surprised that this circus continues and people even have the audacity to come on air and tell us that we don't have a right to complain because there was equal treatment for everybody else. What do you understand by home advantage? Why do we play the matches home and away? If it was the case that every single match would give each team equal opportunity to win, then what would be the point of playing the matches home and away? And so when you play a home game, you need to take advantage of every single opportunity that you have. In this case, we have not, there's been no home advantage. What is the advantage to the BlackStars in playing at the Babaya Sports Stadium? So in our case, there's no point in mentioning any sort of home advantage, because that pitch it's an eyesore. It's a potato farm. And there are people who are getting paid salaries on a regular basis who are pretending to be working on that pitch. Did you know that when the tough inspection started in the process leading up to the approval of this pitch, there was a point where we were asked to send photos of the Babaya Sports Stadium to CAF. You know what the people did? The people went to stand in the stands and took the pictures from afar, so it looked green. Then they sent the pictures to CAF. How are we so dishonest? It took CAF to tell them, to direct them to take close-up pictures, because they knew exactly what they were doing. So they took the pictures from afar, so it looked green and it looks nice, because then you can't see any detail. And we do this every single time. So for me, I think the NSA, their incompetence, it's well documented. And that's why I'm very disappointed that even in the manifestos that these two political parties, the leading ones, have put forward for how they intend to maintain these pitches, there is no mention of how they can ensure that the NSA is well-resourced enough to do that. The NSA even has issues with technical know-how. Who are the people at the NSA with the right technical know-how to maintain pitches? There has to be even an audit of personnel. It's not just a management issue. Who are the people with, for example, who at the NSA can look at whoever it is that is maintaining the pitch, whether it is Frank Boahin, and tell him that I don't think that this pitch is quality enough? Who at the NSA has that technical know-how? That's a fair question. So what are we doing? So for me, I don't want to waste too much time on that. We've spoken about the NSA for far too long. The people who are responsible and are supposed to act are not acting. And so we're back to where we are. But in terms of the game itself, this is what I think. I think that if you look at our previous performances, not just even under Otuado, we have been limping to the finish line in every single one of those matches. There is not a single game where you could point a finger and say, this was a comfortable victory. Otuado has been back to take charge of the BlackStars for 4 matches. In fact, this is his 5th game. He played 2 friendly matches, played 2 World Cup games, World Cup qualifying matches, and then 1 AFCON qualifying game. In those 5 matches, Otuado's BlackStars have conceded 9 goals. Nobody wins like that. Conceding an average of 2 goals per game. That has to be addressed. And there are issues that are present from even his first stint. Because in his first stint, the matches that he took charge of, in the 12 matches that he played, Ghana conceded 15 goals. We can't live like that. Nobody wins like that. So there is a telling issue in his style that has to be addressed. We cannot overlook it. And for me, if you look at yesterday, it was another example of how Otuado's teams have always been set up to concede in every single game. There is not a single match where Otuado played where you are very confident that the BlackStars will not concede. And so that style has to change, in my opinion. Otherwise, we're not going anywhere. But I think that maybe it's because we are expecting too much from Otuado. Because when Otuado came, he actually told all of us. He told all of us, remember, he said that he can guarantee a good style of football. He can't guarantee results. Don't forget that goal.
Oh, and so kind of correct.
Is he also the way he plays? Say it all the time.
No serious coach says that. Pep Guardiola won't say that. As Alex Ferguson didn't say that. He would always tell you the team will win. They will find a way to win. Mourinho and coach said it. Even Hassan Sharata with Egypt said it. No serious coach says that. Don't papa it. Fent, is it also because of the way of the style of the attackers? Look, the most hard-working attacker we have in the team, whether we like it or not, at the moment as we speak, is Jordan Ayew. When you want to play the way Otuado wants to play, when the front line loses the ball, Charlie, all of them are walking. So it takes Partey and Elijah Owusu to start the defending. Kudus doesn't start the defending, unfortunately. Fatai Isaku doesn't start defending, unfortunately. We didn't see a lot of Semenyo doing that the last time he played. And whoever plays there. Is that why there's always pressure on our midfield and at times our backline? And when they're out of position,
And I think Otto made that point. He made that point about how the team defends. Yeah. And he says that, you know, in his presser, he made the point how the team defends and the fact there's a need for the entire team to fall back and defend.
Yeah, they don't.
And he makes the point that ball, even that ball that, you know,
led to the goal.
To the goal. He said if all the players had returned and there were enough bodies in Ghana's penalty area, would have played that ball without
the game against South African Republic. Isn't
making
that
contact.
They were chatting about some Nima
and Jordan. Some baby girls in Nima.
Some watch it joints. So
watch it joints.
So exactly. So there is a consequence of style, but there is also an issue of commitment that has to be spoken about. And I think Achu was the one who mentioned it about the players putting bodies on the line. But when you look at the kind of pitch that you have, you can't really ask them to do that much because a lot of them could end their careers by overcommitting. But I think that this is another issue that we really need to address. If you look at the BlackStars of the last 5 years, we've had, 4 or 5 different coaches in that period. There is a lot of wrong with the way the teams have played, irrespective of which coach has been in charge of the national team. With this current generation, we cannot overlook it. Under CK Akono, we complained bitterly. Then Otto Addo came in, and we saw Otto Addo's own performances. At the World Cup alone, he conceded 7 goals in 3 matches. In 12 games, he conceded 15 goals. We had massive issues. Then we brought in Chris Hewson. We went to the AFCON. We saw the performances. At every single game, there is always an issue. There's never been one match where anybody can pinpoint and say, this game, the BlackStars were it. There has been no reminder whatsoever of what this team is capable of. I think the talent is vastly under-delivering. And I don't know whether it is a consequence of coaching because we've had 3 different coaches or 4 different coaches and the results remain exactly the same. Why is that the case? That is where we need to address. And for me, I think the reasons are 2. Reason number 1, we've spoken about this before, and I think it's important for us to emphasize. The way we assemble the national team now is why we are not getting the best out of these players. And that is why the function of commitment becomes an issue. Because the number 1, for me, the number 1 ingredient of a successful national team is commitment. Players willing to die. Because yes, a player can end their career playing for the national team. It doesn't mean that the next player that comes in should not be ready to end their career for the national team. They should be ready to die for the national team. That is how it works. It's like going to war. If you go to war to fight for your country and a soldier dies, they send the next soldier. He goes there, he's ready to die. That is exactly how it works.
Master, what I say?
You can't choose.
Friends, I
have
a question for
you. Let me actually, you like this. Let me finish.
No, it's a question. I'm only asking you a question.
Let him finish, then you ask the question.
Let me finish.
Is that a statement in principle, or you actually believe that is what they should do? Is that a statement in principle, or you actually believe the application of that?
So, Fent, you can finish, then you come and answer the question later.
So I'm saying that when you are selected for the national team, it doesn't matter what has happened to your predecessor. There has to be a certain function to how you perform your duties. If you are not ready, there is a choice. You are not forced. Actually, it's not an issue of principle. That should be the reality. If you are called to come and play for the national team, there is a minimal level of commitment required. For me, I'm not going to compromise on that. I'm not making excuses for anyone. We've established the other issues that exist with the national teams and even the facilities and conditions under which they play. But I'm also telling you that from the players themselves, there is a minimal level of commitment that is required. I think, and that is why you see a lot of this defending and the attackers are not tracking back as much. They're not putting bodies on the line. This is the issue. And I'm telling you that there is a reason that is happening. And the reason is simple. I'm saying reason number 1 is that I think, and I've spoken about this before, that with the current generation of national team players, they're not coming through our youth system. If you look at the national team players that we have right now, the ones that played this game yesterday, how many of them played for Ghana at the youth level? If you take out Kudus Mohammed, out of even the players who started, which of them played for a youth national team? Thomas Partey played one game for Ghana's under 20. End of story. So every other member of it, and then Atizigi, every other member of that starting 11 had never played for Ghana at youth level. And I'm telling you that in order to instill that level of commitment in the national team, I think that we need to start from the youth level. And I'm saying that all these players that we call abroad to come in and play for the national team, they are all eligible for the youth teams at different points in their careers. Why aren't we calling them to the youth national team to start from there? Because as far as I'm concerned, I think that instilling discipline, commitment, and national team culture starts at the very youth level. Because once they get to that top level and you start calling them, their commitment is one and is first and foremost to their careers rather than the national team. But at youth level, you can instill that culture that your first commitment is to the national cause. And we have failed at that spectacularly. How do you have a whole national team and even the likes of Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, all these countries that call these foreign-based players or foreign-born players who come and win AFCON for them, they start calling them up for their youth national teams at under 17, under 20. Look at Achraf Hakimi, born and raised in France. He started playing for Morocco at under 17. But look at our players. The first time they play for the national team is the BlackStars. And then we made the mistake of then trying to call some of them who are eligible for the youth teams after they've made their BlackStars debut. So you notice that under 23 AFCON, we call Koningsdorfer. He says he wouldn't come because we had already called him for the BlackStars. So he thought we were degrading him. We called Kamaldeen Sulemana. He said he wouldn't come. We called we called Nuama to the AFCON, the under 23 AFCON. We know what happened there. So there is a culture. And for me, I think that unless we start to fix our youth national teams, the BlackStars, these disparaging performances, the malaise will continue. That is my biggest issue, number one. And issue number two, listen, those of you who thought that we deserve or we had a right to win over Angola, you are deceiving yourself. Before we came into this game, Ghana had won 2 matches in our last 5 games. Angola had won 4. We were kicked out of the AFCON in the group stages. Angola made it to the quarterfinals, and it took Nigeria, the finalists, to eliminate them. So this is a good team, an excellent team. And the 1-0 that we beat them earlier in the AFCON qualifier, they were missing Mabululu, a very important member of this team. So a full-strength Angola team was always going to pose a big threat. And I think that the conversation around the build-up to the game didn't necessarily pay enough attention or enough respect to Angola. And you look at the consistency of Angola. They've had the same coach for the past 5 years. And in Ghana, since 1982, we have only gone to back-to-back AFCON with one coach. Since 1982, every AFCON after that, even during the period when we were making consistent semi-finals, we were going back to every AFCON with a new coach. And the only coach that took us to 2 AFCONs in a row was Abraham Grant. How do you build a national team success like this? Look at the current history of all the successful national teams. Look at Senegal. How long has Cisse been in charge? Look at Algeria when they won the AFCON. How long had their coach been in charge? So we need a certain consistency. We need patience. Otoado is making mistakes now. I am not going to sit down here and say that Otoado is not a good coach. I'm not one of those people. But I think that Otoado is making mistakes now. The mistakes are glaring. We've pointed them out. His team is leaking badly. He needs to fix it.
Yeah.
But we need to give the coaches time.
All right. Fred, let me go to Nats briefly, and then I'll just let the guys have their final bat. Then we can move out of here. Nat, let me come to you now. And Nat, while I'm coming to you, guys, remember that the Showbiz Roundtable conversation is on September 14 from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. live here on Joy FM. So it's the 5th edition this time. We are going to focus on what the various political parties have for the entertainment industry. NDC will be represented by Baba Sadiq. We also have Rex Owusu-Mafo, and the MPP will have the Deputy Minister of Tourism and Arts and Culture, Mark Okreku-Mante, and the CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Akwesi Ajiman. This, of course, will be hosted by Kwame Dazi and will be produced by Philip Nine. It's powered by Showbiz A to Z, your most authoritative authoritative entertainment talk show in Ghana. So make a date on the 14th of September on JFM and on Joy Prime. Make a date. Well, I was just talking about Nat joining us on Zoom, but he just comes into the studio. So I'll just give Nat some minutes.
My guy.
He's trying to ask for Coco.
Let's lighten it up a little bit. Big shouts to you, Fent. But Fent Twizzle, I don't know say Fent Day. I mean to make we drink one of our favorites, I see he's lightening up.
How does
Fentizo?
Now does Fent know what you're talking about?
Oh, Fent knows what I'm talking about. Charlie, Fent, there are 10 commandments of the Bible. We don't want to flout any of them. So let's put that aside. But next time, let me know that you're in Rome. I did some runabout around there last weekend. Very good.
Mr. Ato, you were in Rome last weekend.
Yeah, it was in Rome.
From Malta to Rome.
Oh, don't worry. We'll talk about all of that. Fent, that one doesn't. You are doing advertising. We don't like that here. Max, Chairman Max Fuga, I beg you, look the man. He did do advertising.
Drink some water.
All right. So tomorrow on the Joy Sports Link, we're going to extend this conversation. We're going to give it another technical eye. We're going to look at all the other issues, and then we'll zero in on what's going to be happening in the Ghana Premier League. But guys, I was going to say a prayer today, but I want to water down all of my emotions at this time. I've practiced this profession for a minimum of 2 decades, and sometimes I sit back and I reflect and I look at how much we've all broken our backs to make sure that we say truth to authority, that we do our best to bring out all of the ills of our sector and push authority to direct and channel resources there so that we can get things done. It is not disappointing at all that in the year 2024, specifically in the month of September, we're still sitting here as a nation that claims that we want to develop our sports sector, and we're talking about something as basic in sports development as pitch management. We're talking about something as basic as pitch management. Can you imagine that we went through an era that saw us build 2 new stadia, refurbish 2 existing stadia to host an African tournament, which at the time was the biggest and the best organized, based on which the country that organized the Nations Cup after us in 2008, which was Angola, who are a subject of our conversation now, had to invite our then Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Magnus Rex Dankwa, to consult for them on how to ensure that they were going to organize something equally good or something even better, because the mandate was also to build up on the success of Ghana 2008. And within that period as well, emerged the phenomenon of green grass technology Ghana. And I call it a phenomenon because before that, the idea of pitch management wasn't something that we were very big on. Yeah. But after that, we saw Boahin come in. He brought in the whole buzz about managing the pitch, growing it, and all of that. And look, love this young man or hate him, Achutamaklu. He hit the nail right on the head. I was listening to him. These are the same people who travel around, go for all of these courses, these management courses, these capacity building seminars all over the world. Okay? Get remunerated for doing that. They get taken care of by the state. We come back here and we're not able to even do simple things as replicating what we see or going to copy, as they say, what we see. So we are in 2024, specifically in the month of September, and we will be talking about pitch management. So this is what I'm going to say. I am normally very nationalistic at this point in time. I'm very pro-Ghana and all of that. But based on what we are doing as a people, and based on the high levels of irresponsibility which leadership is celebrating, let us all go to Morocco, host that game in Morocco. Let the BlackStars host a game in Morocco outside of this jurisdiction for the very first time.
Oh,
let us learn our lesson. No, Adekam. Hold on, I'm coming. Let us go and let us hope that will teach us lessons. Because guess what? What we're doing here now, I'm sorry to say, is not going to work. And I'll tell you why. A couple of years ago, when we were pushing for the passing of the sports bill into law, which has now become the Sports Act, there was a funding element which we've always talked about, which is what should come and solve the perennial problem of funding of all other disciplines, those away from football and all of that. And I remember very well that I engaged, Ernest Thompson, a seasoned sports administrator and, former director general of SNIT, over this matter. And he was telling me how, as a brand, Joy Sports as a brand should go about this and ensure that we are getting legislature, which is parliament, and the subcommittee to go and work on the document to fast track it. So during the conversation, then he said to me, Nathaniel, you know something? I pity you guys at Joy. This is what Ernest Thompson said to me, and you can call him and put him on the line. He'll confirm it. He said, I pity you guys because guess what? You guys are doing all the right things. But guess what? Nobody will listen. They are not listening. And that is exactly what is happening now. Guess what? This conversation, don't worry, as they always say, something would come up and in 2 weeks or less, it would die. And everybody puts it to rest. And when an Achu Tamaklu or a Muftau goes to speak about it, or somebody decides to go behind the scenes, put together a well-researched and well-thought-of feature, then they say you are doing witch hunting, you are doing agenda and all of that, and start calling you all sorts of names. They start threatening you. Your life is under threat. Your security is compromised and all of that. That is the kind of nation we are. That is the kind of nation we are. Can you imagine that nations that are supposed to be our peers, okay, geopolitically and all of that, are bidding to host the World Cup? And we are sitting here many years after hosting the AFCON. We are in 2024, 2008. And now we're sitting here and talking about pitch management. And you know what? We are also coming, this is the final leg of my submission. We have entered a political peak season. And during this political peak season, we have had the political players and actors come and give us policy documents. Only last Saturday, I sat here in this studio and we hosted 2 key personnel within the manifesto committees for sport in the 2 major political parties. And the element of maintenance of our facilities is captured in these manifestos. So many years in our democracy and many years within our development of infrastructure for development of a sector, we are still marking time around something which is supposed to be basic, around the world. And when you go to certain places in Africa, we always try to tout when we're trying to woo investors into this country. We say that, oh, we are the beacon in West Africa, we are this, we are that, nation. We are a great investment climate. Yes, and nowadays, with all due respect, guys, go to countries like Togo, whom we're supposed to have bigger prominence than in these areas. Go and see what they are doing with their infrastructure, and then maybe and then you'd go and you'd realize that we are not only playing, but we are putting up a very big satirical stage play for the rest of the world. That is what we are. And you know what? Like I said, I am very, very nationalistic, but I'm very sad to say this, Musbao. And I'm very sure that since you started working with me, this is the very first time that you're seeing me in a little bit of an element. Because guess what? Like I said, I have seen all of it. I've seen all of these curves and these, these moments. And we will say it. People will place calls to you and threaten. But guess what? We have gone beyond all of that at this stage of our careers. And guess what? Like I said, let's just wait till our friends in CAF, and our good friends and our allies who normally would, to get a better expression, not bend the rules, but then loosen things up a little bit so that we don't have national embarrassments, decide that no, we are turning our eyes away from you, the right thing has to be done, go to Cote d'Ivoire or go to Morocco.
Or Benin
and then I would want to see what our people will say. Because and finally, we don't have much time. Guys, for people in leadership to show the level of disrespect that some of our leaders show us, sometimes I sit back and I look at what we want to transfer to the younger generation.
Scary.
Yesterday, I was part of a conference on ocean governance at the University of Ghana School of Law. And the chairperson for that conference is Honorable Kathleen Kwate Ayensu. Now, she is an expert in ocean governance law and all of that. The conference chair, in her closing remarks, she said something, and that's what I want to wrap up with. that in the very famous maritime dispute that Ghana had with Cote d'Ivoire, unfortunately, we had to consult quite a number of lawyers who are not Ghanaian. And the question where she was asking was, where are our lawyers and where are our specialists in ocean governance law? Are we not as competent? You know, I sat back and she took me into deep thought. And in the same way, I'm asking a very simple question. Just like, Achuta Maklo set the tone. Are we bereft of talent in areas of horticulture? We don't have people. So all the courses we are doing in agriculture, in UCC and in tech, we don't have the people. I don't think that we have the people with everything that's happened. We don't have the people. And so whatever should happen, let it happen. And let's see how things will go. But I'm very disappointed.
If you are going to play a game outside the country, it's going to be a business for someone.
What you say, I agree. You see, you see, Ghana is an interesting place.
Sit your 30 seconds. 30 seconds. We need to leave the studio now.
They will ban us and tell us to go and play Morocco. And we think that
it becomes someone's business.
It will move government to fix facilities here. Charlie, somebody will be in charge of logistics of playing away from home. The BlackStars will be paid more money to play home away from home.
It is the
motivation for them not to fix
it. Bigger motivation.
Let them try and ban Ghana. I hope it happens. You and I will be here. They'll ban us for 5 years. We'll play 5 years away from Ghana. Nobody will fix anything in this country.
Forget it.
Because this leadership and this country, the way we are going, Charlie,
it's someone's business.
The ban won't fix it.
Hey, someone will get a business for hotel. Someone will get a business for training facilities, for flights and everything. It's a proper business structure. If they are traveling out of this country, are taking per diems in dollars. So
the GFA will be happy. The GFA will be happy.
Hey, we beg.
Just remember that the show is brought to you by Petrosol. Big Petrosol supporting us big time. And it's been a very, very, very Charlie. Hey! They were not entered in a fire account.
But don't forget to mention that Ghana Premier League starts this weekend.
Charlie. Yeah, some more. Some way. But I mean, big thanks to Petrosol. Petrosol, I mean, good quality fuel in accurate quantity. Big thanks to Petrosol. And also remember that the Habitat Fair is coming your way next week, 30th of September to the 15th of September. And is at the, it's the EcoBank Journeys Mini Fair at Good Park near Accra Mall. And so we are encouraging you to come there and have the best deals for all your housing needs at one place. And remember that we are doing this in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and also powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitat, Rent to Own, and of course sponsored by Elegant Homes, where quality meet value, safety and home solutions. You think of a door, we have it. G&J Technical Service, G&J the Generator People, Def Track, Woodlands, Master Plan Gated City, DPS Pipes, connecting you to life, home, well, building supplies. Let's build together. Global Lighting, your solution to quality lighting. Superlock, you deserve the best. Everlast UPVC windows and doors, the right choice for windows and doors. Syntex Tank, strong, tough, less Fortune Limited. Curtains, be luxuriously perfect. Build freeze solar hybrid air conditions, superior cooling with energy. DBS Roofing Industry, your roof expert. Virtual security doors, protecting lives and properties. And Clifton Homes, beautiful homes. Wise Investment, Tino Solutions, the renewable energy expert. EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair, get house, make it a home. So big thanks, and of course look forward to the EcoBank's Habitat Fair. Mentioned the Ghana Premier League is starting tomorrow, Saturday. This weekend, and we're all looking forward to it. Dreams FC will play Summertex, Vision FC will play Brecum Chelsea, and the Diana Stars will play Heart of Lions. Bibiani Gold Stars will play on Sunday against Legon Cities. Heart of Folk at the Accra Sports Stadium against Holy Stars. Kareli United will play Asante Kotoko, and then Nations FC will play Bechim United, and you have in Sanchoman playing in Young Apostles, Midiama against Accra Lions. So that's the games for this weekend Ghana Premier League. It's still unclear whether the games will be on TV. It's still unclear. There's no communication to that effect. The broadcast rights, we don't know. We don't know. Just briefly though, Sicho, is that clear? Has that been clarified now? Do we know whether the games are going to be on TV? Do you have any communication to that effect?
But I suspect start time might still in the end.
Start times will continue to.
we've not seen interest from the state broadcaster or any other external force. So
there are some small concern out there about the start times broadcasting the competition. The FA is expected to give a statement by close of day or early next week on the broadcaster.
Beyond the league, no, and starters have invested too much to just move away, so they have to take it again.
Besides,
outstanding money start.
Nobody wants, but who wants to show it?
There are standing issues with money that need to be resolved from last season.
Yeah.
Because Star Times contend that they didn't make enough money, and it looks like the original contract that was signed was not signed with a fixed rate for the dollar.
Yeah.
So as the city depreciates, Star Times, who are collecting these subscriptions or subscriptions that they are charging in CD terms, now have to find the difference in dollar terms to pay. So
this always takes me back because usually when they are signing deals like this, they cap the dollar, right? So when you cap it, it becomes much easier for you. But I don't know why.
It looks like Star Times
Even
might
if
pick
they
it up
cap
again.
it, I'm telling you, even if they cap it, they won't break even. They've not. See, it's not necessarily about the dollar moving. No, the capping. No, and even if they capped it at the time they signed the deal, they are running a losses. Why? The interest in the Ghana Premier League is not there. People are not subscribing enough. People are not paying enough to watch. They watch only 2 games. And those 2 games people watch, and it's not good enough to fund production across the season. That is the fundamental fact. League, no. If what's their FA and the people are doing, the league won't grow in terms of broadcasts. They need to change their ways and stop following the BlackStars left and right and be losing against Angola.
Anyway, guys, that's how we wrap up the conversation today on Game Plan. It's been a really exhaustive show. There's not so much to talk about again, but we'll wait to see come next week. Not sure his friend is coming up next week there, but we'll see if he returns next week. Other than that,
why are you exposing him on the air?
I said I'm not sure, so he's hearing me. If he comes, we'll see him. But guys,
you miss him? You miss Fent?
Yeah, I think I miss him. I miss him. Fent, we miss you. So, try and come up. All right, guys, thank you so much for being part of the show. My name is Razak Musbao, and we're going to be back same time next week. Sisho, thanks. Achu, same. Muftan Nabila, Karim also was here, and Benaya. They all returned from Benaya. Achu returned from Kumasi. All right, guys. Charlie, Sisho, that seat you wear for GTV, for talk our time. But you see, right time, set, All right, guys, we'll talk again.